newsletter that went out last week.
I'm sorry.
The newsletter that went out last week.
Yes,
Are you sure it was Vayigash? Because it sure seemed like it was Vayichi. The Rabbi Furst Dvar Torah seemed much more like Vayichi than Vayigash.
On Amalek, the Amalek was in reference to actually what we were learning in the Mishnah Brewer, that the halakha is that when you, in general, you need to have 10 psukim read during Kriya Satorah, except there's one exception, that when it comes to the Kriya of Amalek on Purim, we only read 9 psukim. So the Mishnah Berurah is explaining, because that's symbolic of the pagam that the Amalek caused in the Kisei HaKavod, in the David Shem Shemayim. So there were some questions about what did Amalek do that was so bad, so wrong. So I decided I'd put that in for the.
Oh no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. First Dvar Torah, Rabbi Furst Dvar Torah seemed to be referencing Parshas Vayichi and not Parshas Vayigash.
Really? Okay, I'll take a look. I'll have to see what I said. Okay.
Not you. What Rabbi Foreman said.
Oh, Reb Fairman. Okay. Okay.
There's just Rabbi Foreman.
Reb Fairman. Okay, could be. Yeah, I know somebody who speaks. Someone speaks between Kabbalah Shabbos and Ma'ariv, and always seems to discuss something about the previous next week's parsha. I don't know why he does that, but he does it. If you could let me share, Lou, I'll put this screen on.
okay, no problem. Go ahead.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I'm pretty, and I'll have it in a second. Hold on.
No problem. Oh. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay. All right. So we're going to be starting a new Mishnah. We'll learn Mishnah Ches and Tes. Again, we're in Pierke Avos, the 5th parak, and we'll be learning Mishnah Ches and Tes. Let's look at the Mishnah to begin with. Fine. Yeah. Who would like to read? Any volunteers?
I'm going to pass today because I'm having breakfast.
Okay. Fine. Mary, if you'd like to read, you can read.
Okay. So it says Shiva Mine Poraniyot Be'ein Liolam Al Shiva Gufi Avira San Ma'ashirin. Okay,
So now, yeah.
Pardon?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
Oh, should I go on?
No, it says so again. So it says that there are 7 erroneous calamities. There are 7 types of calamities. Boim la'olam that come to the world. 7 types of calamities come to the world.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I got it.
No problem. Very good. We're just getting started. Again, we're learning in the 5th parak in Avos. You see Mishnah Ches and Tes there. Sheva mini peronis bol la'olam al sheva gufi avera. There are 7 types of calamities that come to the world, bolon, that they come to the world. Al sheva gufi, on 7 types of sins. Now the Mishnah is going to explain them. So mixasan ma'asrin and mixasan ain't ma'asrin. Okay. So I mean, some people are taking maasros and some people are not taking maasros. Okay. So Rav shel Botzoros Bo'o. Okay.
Okay, so some people aren't and some are.
Right. Some people take when some people are not everyone's doing it. Some people are doing it. Some people aren't doing it. So that's going to be and we'll see. This has a lot to do with Mida Keneged Mida. These things are not just coming into the world for haphazardly. Kadosh Baruch Hu is doing this with good intentions to help us realize what we're doing wrong and what we can possibly do to correct.
Okay, so let's see. Shalom Ra'av Shal Mehuma V'Shal Tzurat Ba'a V'Shalo Litol Et Hachala Ra'av Shal what's it? Kliya Ba'a Davar Ba Liolam Al Mitot Amorot Batorah Shelo Na Demasru Leveidin Ve'al Perot Shvi'it Charav Ba Liolam Al Inui Hadin Ve'al Avat Hadin Ve'al Amurim B'Torah Shelo Kahalacha.
All right, so let's go back and do this. Then again, it says here, there are 7 types of calamities that come to the world because of 7 different types of averas. So the first one is mixasin, ma'asrim, mixasin, ena ma'asrim. So therefore, when some people of Klal Yisrael are taking ma'asris and some are not taking ma'asris, Rav shel butzoras ba. Butzoras is lack of rain. So Rav is a famine. So a famine because of lack of rain comes. When you have a famine because of lack of rain, the situation is mixasin ra'evim, mixasin seveim. You have some people are famished, and some people are satisfied. Because some are ma'asrim and some are not. So mida keneged mida, some are being famished because in their location they don't have sufficient rains. And some are being satisfied because in their location they do have. Another case is gamru shelo aser. Let's say that it was everyone, right? Gamru, they all decided. Let's say for some reason everyone decided not to take maisrus. Ra'av shel muhuma, v'shel butzoras ba. In that case, then and a ra'av, a famine, a general famine is caused, and there'll be a drought, and there'll be a drought that comes, right? So you have one thing is you don't have rain. So in the places where there's rain, they have food. Where there's no rain, there's no food. But if it's a drought, so the whole population is affected by not having food. And now, sholito es hachala, ra'av shel kalal yaba. Let's say they don't take challah from the yisr, from the dough. They don't separate the challah from the dough. Then you have a type of famine, which is a ra'av shel kalal yaba. That's destructive. You have something which a type of famine, a drought, which is destructive. Now, what does it mean that it is a drought that's destructive? You can have a drought that there's simply not enough water, okay, right? But but you have certain droughts that cause destruction. A perfect example of this is if you know anything about the American history, there was the Dust Bowl. What happened in the Midwest of America? I think this was sometime in the 1930s. I forget that.
Yeah, during the Depression.
During the Depression, right? It was depression. Yep. So the depression was where it was bad enough, right? But then there was a drought. There was a drought that descended upon the Midwest, where the wheat crops were born, and there are other causes that led to it also. But it caused the dust bowl effect that all the ground, which normally would have been used for wheat crops, it actually turned to dust. They were mistreating the soil also in a way that caused it to happen. But the main reason was not enough rain. So it wasn't simply that there was no rain and no food, but now the whole thing got messed up with the dust bowl effect. There were sandstorms, and towns became inundated with sand, and they were destroyed and never rebuilt again. Farms were completely destroyed. So it wasn't simply a drought. It's much more serious, the lack of rain, than simply not having the rain. Okay, so let's see further.
Rabbi, Furst,
Yeah.
excuse me, Roy is trying to get in. Do you see him on the screen?
Lou, you see Roy
Roy
coming
Clark.
in?
I got it.
Oh, Lou. Okay, Lou, you'll be in a minute. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you, man.
You're welcome. Bye now.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, very good. I'll fine. Oh, definitely wants to come in. Oh, okay, Mary. Let's continue on. Dever. What's Dever? Dever is like pestilence. That's one of the plagues in Mitzrayim. Was Dever, right? So what does that come on? What is Dever? Dever is comes to the world. Why? Dever bol al mises haomer b'torah shelo nimsa b'beis. Right? So Dever, pestilence, will come to the world because you have a situation where there are punishments that have to be given out by Beis Din, and they don't. These cases are not being judged by Beis Din, not being judged by Beis Din. So therefore, Kadosh Baruch Hu has to make sure that there's a certain amount of justice in the world. So therefore, in order to balance the justice that be in the world, he brings Dever into the world to balance the necessity of having the justice. Exactly, on those people who are deserving of the Mises Beis Din. Now, also Va'al Perish Shvi'is, right? And also because of Perish Shvi'is, right? And that's the you're not careful with the Kedusha Shvi'is, maybe you're raising them and working the land in Isser, prohibition. So in those cases, that's can also bring Dever. Okay. Cherev. Cherev is the sword. Go ahead, Mayor, if you like, you could read it if you want. Cherev. Last line, first paragraph.
Okay. So Cherev ba liolam al inoi hadin vi al avat hadin vi al ha morim batorah shelo kahalacha.
Have Cherev, which means sword, meaning war. Of course, all in a war. War comes to the world. Why? Because a misrepresentation, a corruption of din, of justice, a corruption of justice. I mean, justice is not. There are reasons why these people should be punished and punished severely for what they're doing, and for whatever reasons, maybe many different reasons. For whatever reasons, the courts are not prosecuting people the way they're supposed to be prosecuted, and therefore, Kadosh Baruch Hu has to bring war into the world for this corruption of what justice should have been done. If justice was meted out properly, then that would have eliminated the necessity of war, and also for a misinterpretation of Torah, which is not in the vein of halacha. There may be some type of a pshat that they want to say that that's what Torah, but it's not according to what the halacha is. So in both cases, it's a corruption of either din, which is a corruption of Torah shelo k'halacha, And in order to correct this, to balance the scales of justice, Kadosh Baruch Hu has to bring war. Okay, let's go to the Mishnah next. Chaya Ra Bo. Let's see how.
Chaya Ra Ba'al Yolam Al Shavuot Shav Al Chilul Hashem Galut Ba'al Yolam Al Odei Avodah Zara V'Agaloi Ariot V'Al Shefichat Damim, spilling of blood. Oh, okay. V'Al Shmatat Haaretz V'Arba'a Prakim Hadavar Mitrava V'Revi'it U'Shivi'it U'Motzei Shivi'it U'Motzei Hechag Shebechol Shana V'Shana V'Revi'it Mipnei Ma'aser Ani Shebishlishit U'Shvi'it Mipnei Ma'aser Ani Shevishit U'Motzei Shvi'it Mipnei Peirot Shvi'it U'Motzei Hechag Shebechol Shana V'Shana Mipnei Gazel Mitanot Aniyim. They steal from the poor. Oh.
Right. Okay. Anyone have any comments on this this Mishnah?
Yeah, what does it mean?
Okay.
Seems like when you do terrible things happen to you.
Yeah, well, that's the Mida Keneged Mida. That's the Kadosh Baruch Hu deals with this world. So Chayra Bol Olam Al Shavu Shav, and your people are going to take false oaths. It's going to bring wild animals into the world to cause havoc, and on Chilul Hashem, Golas comes, and on Chilul Hashem, excuse me. So Chayra comes on Shavu Shav and on Chilul Hashem. Golas comes to the world because of Avodah Zorah, Gili Arayis, his Damim, and also because of a lack of keeping the Shemitahs Os. Now, Ba'arba Proking Dever Misraber, there are 4 periods of time when Dever, right, pestilence increases. The Revis in the 4th year, and in Shavis in the year, Ubumotzi Shvis in the Motzi after the 7th year. And on Motzi Sukkos each and every year. How? Why? What is it? What's the correlation? Correlation is as follows: the Revis, Dever is increasing on the 4th year. Mishum Maisa Ani Shlishis, because Maisa Ani is people are supposed to give Maisa Ani to the poor people in the 3rd year. So if they didn't do that properly, so then the 4th year is going to be Dever. And also in the 7th year, there's going to be a consequence of not giving proper Maisa Ani in the 6th year. So in the 7th year, the consequences come to the world as Dever. And a Motzi Shvis because of Perish Shvis. Motzi Shvis, Dever comes on because of the improper observance of Perish Shvis. And Motzi Chag Shebekol Shana V'Shana. And why should it be that there's Dever each and every year on Motzi Sukkos? Because in general, people are supposed to be giving their matnasi niyim, and people hold back. That's considered to be stealing from the poor. So, in consequence of stealing from the poor, Kadosh Baruch Hu brings Dever into the world. Okay. Now let's see this is Pierke Moshe al Avos in our Pierke Mishnah Ches. Let's see his explanation. Go ahead.
Okay. Shiva mine paraniot ba'in liolam al shiva gufei averot v'chulei. Acher, maybe, achar asher hiniach roshem hashalem b'chol hachma asher klal ba kol hashlamot ha'inui ka'amar v'haita hakuna l'misader hamishne bazeh ki ka'asher yihiyu hashivat devarim ha'ele b'chacham yodea be'emet shehu shleim b'tachlit hashlemut v'shehashem what is that? Yibarach Hashem?
Hashem Yisbarach, right?
Hashem Yibarach, okay. Bara olamo ba'asara ma'amorot latet sachar tov l'shlamim ke'ele b'chol dor v'dor.
Okay, so what is he explaining here? He's saying here that the Mishnah now is explaining Sheva Mini Peronis Bola Olam Al Sheva Gufi Yavera. This is connected with the previous mimer we had Sheva Devarim Begolim and Sheva Devarim Behochim. So, and before that, as he finishes in this paragraph, we were learning about series of tens. So he's basically pointing out that in this fifth parak of Avos, the Mishnayos begin with series of tens. Remember, Kadosh Baruch Hu created the Olam Asam Amaros, and then went into the 10 generations from Adam Rishon to Noach, and the 10 generations from Noach to Adam to Avram Avinu. Then he went into the 10 Nisyonis, the 10 tests of Avram Avinu, and then the 10 tests that our forefathers tested at Kadosh Baruch Hu in the Midbar, and then the 10 Makos in Mitzrayim, and then finally the 10 things which were created Ben Hashmashos, and then also the 10 miracles that took place in the base of Migdash. So the Mishnah was going through a series of tens, and then it shifted to sevens, right? Just to sevens, and which is ours, and then it's going to continue on. We'll see other combinations of numbers that will be significant. So that's what he's explaining here. There's an order in these listings of tens, listings of sevens, and then we're going to see there's listings of fours as well. All very significant. Okay, paragraph number 2.
Okay, so what? Hiniach ata ufnei minei haparaniot v'hamit grashot lavo ba'olam mifa'at hashgacha lahafria or lahafra bahem min harishaim sheme'avdin et ha'olam b'shiv'a gufei averot ukemo shehashiva minei paraniot. I'm not sure what that abbreviation is.
Nizkar Po. I mentioned here.
Niskar Po. Okay, oh, mentioned here. Okay. Haim kol lot.
So let's not try and run out of our translation. Let's try and translate things before we continue on. So he's now ofeni mini pronius misragish libololim pasach kacha. So now he's going to be setting out in front of us the types of calamities that occur in the world from the source of hashkacha. Meaning these things are not, as we mentioned earlier, these are not things that are haphazard, simply occurring in the world. These are things that are occurring in the world because of Hashkacha, Kadosh Baruch Hu's planned and intentional intervention into the natural world and history of humanity. Lafriya mehem mina rashayim shma'al b'nes olam b'sheva gufi averus. He wants to now take punishment upon the evil people that are destroying the world in 7 different types of averus. According to these 7 types of calamities which are mentioned here. Okay.
Okay. Haim kolot kol ofnei minei praniot efshariot lavo ba'olam kemo chen hashava gufei averot. I guess Shiva. Okay, Gufei Averot. Haim Sugei Avirot Asher Tachtehem Yehiyu Kol Ofnei Minei Averot She Yitzaru Bivnei Adam.
So we have these 7 types of pranios, right? 7 types of calamities. These include all the possible types of calamities that are possible to come to the world. Likewise, you have 7 types of averus. Sugi averus. These are types of averus. Mini averus adam, and they are included under their categories all the types of averus that are possible to be done by people. So there are 7 categories of catastrophes, and there are 7 types of sins. Okay.
Okay, the next one. V'hine emet hatene lo ba lechodesh lanu. Lechadesh lanu. Shiva mine pariniot sheharei heim ovorot be'er heitev. Sorry about that. Ketuvim bekolot haTorah ki hine nizkar. I'm sorry. Let's see. Hine nizkar harav shlosha pa'amim harishon shel b'tzurat be'omaro v'shibarti et geon ozchem v'natati et shmechem kevarzel v'chulei. Hashenit shel mechuma v'shel b'tzurat. I'm not sure what be, but Omrim? No. Not sure what the abbreviation is. Be'umot?
Be'umos, right? Be'umos v'nasatem.
Okay. Biyad oyev b'shivrei lachem mata lachem v'chulei v'hashivu lechamchem b'shikokel v'achaltem v'lo tishavu v'chulei.
So he said here, the truth is that the Tana is not coming to give us any new insights into the 7 types of catastrophes that come to the world. To because they are all explicitly stated very well in what the Torah writes in the parshas of the Klolos. If you look over there, look at the psukim. It mentions Ra'av is mentioned 3 times. Rishon shel Betzuros. It's talking about the first one about Ra'av, famine is by Betzuros, lack of rain. Omru b'shivri as gono uzachem. That's what the pasuk is talking about. He'll break the gono uzchem. He'll break the staff of your strength. Sati es shivchem b'zukarzel. It's going to the skies, heavens will be like barzel, meaning they'll be locked up and without rains for you. Shel shnis, shel mu'uma, shel betzoras, umas, nasatem biyad oyev, shivri lahem mate lechem. We're going to break your staff of bread. Sheviu lahanchem mishkal v'chaltem lo tisavru. And these are all these quoting the psukim, which are references to these different types of calamities which Kadosh Baruch Hu brings upon the world, mida keneged mida. So these things are not new. These are things which are really stated already in the psukim. Okay. Now, what's the third? Now, we mentioned 2 of them already. What's the third mention of Ra'av? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Shlishit shel klei b'omrim ve'im bezot lo tishma'u li. Oh, they don't listen. Okay. V'yisrati etchem v'kulei. V'achaltem basar b'nechem uvasar b'notechem tochelu v'kulei. V'revi'it hadavar shlachti davar b'tochechem hachamishit hacherev v'omrim heveiti aleichem cherev no kemet nakam brit v'chulei. Hashishi hachaya ra'ah v'omru hashilachti b'achem et chayat hasadeh v'shechala, I guess, etchem v'hakrita et b'chamtechem v'chulei. Hashvi'it hagolot v'omrim v'itchem ezra v'goyim v'chulei.
So basically, he's just here. Moshe is basically just stating the psukim, which correspond to the various 7 different types of peronius. Okay, let's see paragraph 5.
Okay, v'hinei milashon hatana atzmo yir'eh be'emet shelo ba lachodesh hasheni devarim rak achat mehem levad ke'omrim shiva minei paraniyot ve'ein le'olam al shiva gufo averot ki echad mehem levado hu asher chadash hatana vehu naso hagizera shehi heyotam ba'im al shiva gufo averot v'hanosei hu hayodea she'im hayu shnehem mechodashim mipi hatana haya lo lomar shiva minei haraniyot be'ein laolam v'al shiva gufei averot hein be'ein v'chulei.
Right, so he's saying the way the Tana is expressing himself, you can see that the truth is he's not coming to give an insight, a new insight into these 2 things, Rakachas men levan. Only one thing is coming to give us a chiddush. Now remember, it says Shiva mini Piranias bolo. It says that the 7 types of Piranias come to the world through the 7 types of Avera. Ki achad behem levado hu asher chadash tana. One of these things is a chiddush that the Tana is teaching us, which is the who nosa gezerah. This is in fact the gezerah. Shia osam boin al shiva kufi per. These things come because of these 7 types of avera. Manosa, who here you do with this? I mean, this is already we know this already that things happen in the world because of averas being done. Shim hayishnehem. Both 2 things were a chiddush from the Tana. Hayalol Omer, he should have said differently. He should have said mini Piranias bol. There are 7 types of. This is how he should have said it if he wanted to say it in a more unique fashion. He should have said it that the coming of these 7 things is because of the specific averas involved. Hanoisa, who you did. This is in fact is known. Both of these things were supposed to be insights from the Tana. He should have said Shiva mini Piranias bola olam. Simply say that there are 7 types of calamities that come to the world, and on 7 different types of avera these things come. But he didn't say that. He said it in a different way. That's what he's going to continue on in paragraph number 6. Let's see how he explains in paragraph number 6.
Okay. V'hinei hayot minei paraniot ha'ele kololim kol ofnei minei haraot hu mivoar ki harav hu kolel ha'eder kol ofnei minei ma'achal v'hadavar kolel kol hamitot. Harav.
So what does this mean? What does this mean? This means the types of Piranias, they are general categories which are inclusive of all types of bad things. Humivura, this is something which is clear. Ki harav hu kolel ha'eder kolel Ra'av. When you speak about Rav, famine includes all type of lack of types of food, right? Dever kolo misos. Endeavor includes as a categorical statement, including all types of deaths.
Okay. The cherev, or charav, I guess, the sword. The hachaya, the hagalot. Hem kololim kol hayisurin hakashim. V'tzurat rabot v'raot she'itzuyaru ba'olam. V'chein hashiva gufei averot ha'ele.
So he says that you have cherev and chayaros, they have war and beasts, wild beasts, exile. They include all the types of things which are all types of distressful things. Yisurim kashim, very distressful things. Betzuras rabos and many different troubles and difficulties that could possibly occur in the world. And now he says these 7 types of averas, these 7 types of sins, Haim kolim, go ahead.
Okay, Haim kololim kol of nei minei haverot hanasot v'seter u'v'galoi.
And these types of averas, right? They include all types of averas that are done b'seisa or bagilui, whether they're done secretly or openly, right? It turns out that you see the truth is that these types of calamities come through these different types of averas. Mida keneged mida. Yeah, mida keneged mida, just as we said. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Bimat hashkafa. Oh, okay. Ki hine ba'avon ha'eder hamasarot ba'hara'av mida keneged mida ki kishekatzatam ma'asirin ukatzatam einan ma'asirin ba'ra'av shel b'tzurat she'einenu ra'av kolel l'cholam kemo she'havira lo hayta kolat v'al kain miktatam re'evim umiktatam sve'im.
So all these things come mina keneged mina. Me'at hashkafa with a little bit, with a meaning. If you pay attention a little bit, if you look into it a little bit, and not just don't look at it superficially, you'll see these things are coming mina keneged mina. As he gives an example, through the lack of giving the maasros, that brings famine. Mina keneged mina. Why? Some people are taking maaser, and some people are not taking the maasros. And that comes a rav shel betzoros. Rav kol kulam, and the famine is not including everybody, right? It would be different if the avera was not simply a general avera. Therefore, you see that you have an illustration of the maasrim, and some people are not maasrim. So then a type of famine comes to the world which is selective. Some people are going to be affected, and some people won't be affected. Okay, so that leaves us. We'll pick up with. We'll stop now. Let's take a break, and
Thank you.
we'll continue in a few minutes. Okay, very good, Roy. Have a
Thank
good
you.
afternoon.
You too. Be well. See you.
Likewise. Hope to see you all. In a few minutes, we'll start the Mr. Brewer, Mitzvah Hashem.
Okay, very good.
Okay, Lou, I might have to. I might close down the this because I have to switch to a different computer. So if you have to restart, we'll restart. Okay.
Oh, okay, very good.
Okay.
No problem, Rabbi.
Okay, great.